Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, a.k.a. Man of the People. Very excited this afternoon, early evening. I forget what the time's changed. It's already dark. What is it, 5:30? So early evening, Carolina Panthers delivering the Christmas present that we all want to get and see. The Carolina Panthers have now officially doubled their win total from last year. They are now 4-11 with 2 games remaining. Atlanta and Tampa Bay, not in that order. It's actually in order. It's going to be Tampa Bay and then Atlanta. Carolina Panthers victorious today. Final score in this game, Carolina Panthers. I lost my mark. How about that? 36. Your Arizona Cardinals, 30. Yeah, some brain farts. Sometimes there's a lot going on behind the scenes to get the show up and ready, and I get a little frazzled, but I'm going to deliver to you now. Carolina Panthers 36, Arizona Cardinals 30. This is your final in overtime. Yes, we are on the winning side of overtime. I tweeted as the game got near the end that the cardiac cats, have they returned? I think they did, and in fitting fashion, because I remember the cardiac cats being a thing that was going around when head coach Ron Rivera was at the helm. And head coach Ron Rivera was here today in Carolina. He was calling a game for national radio. I think it was National Sports Radio. Don't quote me exactly on that. But he was here today calling the game. They showed him on the big Jumbotron. And actually, I'll share some good news with you, some behind-the-scenes news that you'll only get here at Charlotte Vibe. As I was walking through the tunnel to get ready to do my live post-game show right here, I saw Ron Rivera talking to one Bryce Young and just congratulating him on a good game. And those guys were having some good laughs and things. You could tell that Ron Rivera is definitely fond of his time here in Carolina. So, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm not sure if I put it in the comments here, but we still need your help for those that can help for our GoFundMe to get one more piece of equipment for our live broadcast. I hope that if you're able to, that you do so. But, hey, no worries. If you can't, no worries. Make sure you just hit the like button. Help us continue to grow. Help us continue to be bigger. The bigger that we get, the more that we can do. Enough of me talking, all right? Let's go ahead and get us to some highlights from today's game. We're going to actually go ahead and start with some photographs from today's game. So give me just a second, and we're going to go through some great photographs from none other than Patrick Snyder, the best photographer in the NFL. We're lucky to have him on our team here. So let me go ahead and get this going for you guys. And, man, I love being properly dressed because I am not freezing, even though the temperature is freezing out here. So give this a second for it to load up, and we're going to go through some of these photographs. All right. Just a second for this to fully load up here. I think we're just about loaded up. Yes, we are all loaded up there. So we're going to go through some photos. We're going to go through some videos. We're going to go through some stats. And then I'm going to give you guys my analysis and breakdown on some things that took place within the game today. Let me move this a little bit on my screen. Oh, I can't do that. So nevertheless, let's go ahead and get into it. By the way, what's up? Let me give a few shout-outs. Then we're going to start talking about these pictures you see here. What's up, Leonard? What's up, T. Green? Juju, your boy Kel, Antonio McClanahan, T. Green, members, Christopher Johnson, and more. All right, so this here was a great catch that unfortunately did not count. This was our guy, Jalen Coker, who had a phenomenal catch in the end zone, but he did not get both feet in before going out of bounds, so that ultimately did not count. But, man, that was a great catch by Jalen Coker. And this here looks like a guy out in the open court, right? Maybe we should give him a jersey, give him a little 10-day contract for the Charlotte Hornets to help those guys out. Bryce Young showing some agility in running the ball today. He did excellent running today. He actually had a career day in running the ball, and we're going to get into those stats a little bit later. But you can see he's setting these guys up all the time for the okie doke. And there's the result of one of his runs earlier today, a touchdown that at first we thought was going to get called back for a penalty, but it wasn't. And so the Carolina Panthers were actually able to celebrate and be very happy about that touchdown by Bryce Young. This guy, in my opinion, today showing every bit of a reason why he is a franchise quarterback. And I'm going to get into that more here in just a little bit. But great shot by Patrick Snyder on getting that picture. Hey, and if you guys are enjoying these photographs, do me a favor and just click that like button, subscribe, help us continue to grow, and that would be greatly appreciated. But this here is do I have any water over there? Is a happy bunch of guys because this picture was taken shortly after there was a fumble recovery by the Carolina Panthers, in which we were able to get the ball back. And I think we scored after this one. I'm not 100%, but this is, yes, the celebration after a fumble recovery. Look at Damani Richardson right there, number 36. We got some young guys that are doing some good things. We got some guys that are hurt, unfortunately, but we also have some young guys that are doing some really good things. And this is your franchise quarterback, also known as QB1, also known as number 9, Bryce Young. Bryce Young showing a little bit of love to the fans after the game, today's victory in overtime here in Carolina. And who's this? I forget the new chant that they had, and I don't have the best singing voice, so I'm not going to try to do it. But this is Chuba Hubbard after the game getting some hugs. I can't see exactly who the player is there, but Chuba with the game-winning touchdown. And, man, Chuba had a heck of a drive on that last play. Heck of a drive on that last drive in overtime to not only get us into field goal position, but as you see, ultimately got us the touchdown, helped us win the game. And this was part of that drive right here. Part of what was happening during that drive. He has, I mean, this is a great picture right here of just how elusive that Chuba can be and that Chuba was. T. Green says that was Jacoby Windman celebrating there with Chuba on that previous photograph. But Chuba showing just how elusive he. Look at this photograph. You have 2 Arizona Cardinals laying not flat on their back, but flat on their side, trying to reach out and get Chuba, who was determined and did get into the end zone and score. A little bit earlier in the game here, Chuba needing to get this was probably on the first down. I don't think this was the goal line play. I think this was the first down. Some aggressive play calling by Coach Dave Canales. Some play calling that, maybe at one point took a little lull as the Cardinals charged back, but definitely some aggressive play calling here early on, going for it and fourth down, determined to get that lead, and we did get that lead. And I think you saw quite a bit of different play calling from Dave because of that. And this is Damani Richardson, the undrafted free agent, who has been playing phenomenal football. I forget which start that he had today, but he did get a start today in place of Jordan Fuller and did very well with that start, getting the interception, playing some solid football the entire game. Congrats to him. The future's bright for that young man. And I think that almost takes us through it. No, there's another picture of the celebration. 41 right there jumps out to me. We had Captain Mutterlin on the pregame show earlier today, and that was his old number right there. But, again, some more celebrations by Damani Richardson. And there you have it. Back to your boy, me, Chris Jenkins, covering the Carolina Panthers. And, yeah, I'm excited. Next game is going to be in Tampa Bay. I'm excited for several reasons. Tampa is one of my favorite cities to go to. And you guys will get to see what I'm wearing in Tampa because right now you can't see everything because I gotta bundle up so much. But in Tampa, it's going to be warm. I'm going to get to wear my suit and feel good. I think Deion Sanders said you feel good, you play good, something like that. So, nevertheless, let me fix my little hoodie right here. But anyway, let me continue to go through this show today. So those are your photographs from today's game. Now, we're going to try to cut to a few things here, so give me just a second. Let me get this up. All right, so why don't we do this? We've been to continue to expand our services. You guys are like our content. Met a couple before the game and said, hey, Chris, man, we love your show. More people got to know about it. We want, why don't more people watch your show? Hey, here's what I ask all of you to do that are watching the show, that enjoy the content that we have. enjoy my man of the people persona that I work for on this channel, just like the videos every time they come on. Leave a comment, and those little things really help the channel continue to grow because the YouTube algorithm that we all hear about, it when a video has a lot of views, has a lot of likes, has some interactions, then it shows it to more people, and we can continue to grow and make this channel bigger and better. So, but let's go ahead and go into some post-game locker room interviews. So this is something new that we started about 3 weeks ago. A little hat tip, and much thanks to our intern VJ, who goes into the locker room after the game while I'm getting together other stuff for the post-game show. But, and as I said in the past, post-game disclaimer, in order to get these videos to you quickly, we don't have a chance to edit them all nice and fancy. So I'm just going to play about a minute or so from each player that we were able to get to in the locker room so you guys can know what's going on. We're going to start with Chuba Hubbard, the game-winning, over 100-yard rushing running back for the Carolina Panthers.
Fumble, and then today to win it in overtime. How does that feel to come back full circle and have that redemption?
Yeah, all praise to God. This time is undefeated. Obviously, I was down in that moment, but I knew that I'd get another one, and I'd do right by it. So just blessed, glad to finish the right way in the bank.
None of your teammates, though, were down on you when you were really the hardest on yourself. How does it feel to give that sort of back to them after that sort of faith they've had in you?
Yeah, I've let it go, but it's definitely been in the back of my head a little bit. Like I said, when the next opportunity came, I told myself I'm gonna get it back for them, and to be able to, have them trust me in that opportunity again, and then have it end that way. Just blessings of God.
Can you take us through those final two rushes, the touchdown rush and then the one right before that?
Yeah, they were just gapping it out. They knew we were going to run the ball. We were saying in the huddle, this is just an attitude type of game. Finish. We want to end it on our terms, and obviously ball security was a big emphasis. So make sure I had the two hands on the ball the whole time, and everyone just blocked the asses off, and I just made the right cuts, and the rest was that.
You gotta like that. Chuba, you get a little unedited version of what Chuba's words were. Everybody blocked their butts off, and this one was one that you could tell the players in that locker room were happy that the ball bounced in their favor. Today, they've been in some close games. They won the overtime game in Germany. They lost the overtime game against Tampa. And that overtime game here today looked like it was going to be on edge because things, this team still has some growing to do, some maturing to do in all aspects, right? Coach Dave Canales has some things. The other coaches, coordinators, the players have some things. The rookies have some growth to do. But I still I like where this team is going because there were many times with little things that were happening where this team could have just kind of folded and said, all right, we're always on the short end of the stick, so we're just going to put our heads between our legs and just walk on out of here. But they didn't give up. There were several times, even toward the end of the game, right? They thought that the time had expired and they had won the game because Arizona was having some poor clock management near the end of the game. And it was like, no. There's time on the clock. And the guy comes out and kicks, I believe, a 58-yard field goal to go into overtime. It was also another moment prior to that in which you thought that they didn't make the first down, and they made it. It's like, keep going. But this team continued to play through it all and give themselves an opportunity to win, and did win today. So let's go ahead and continue to go through some more interviews here. We're going to listen to Damani Richardson, the undrafted free agent who did have an interception today.
And it just felt good because we work so hard, we keep coming close and we're always in close games. So finishing out this game, it felt good.
Was that overtime defensive stop a statement, do you think, for this defense?
I just say we gotta approach each and every week like that, and we can't allow even when things go bad at one point, we can't let it get to our head too much. So we gotta approach each and every week the same, each and every play the same, and we gotta just keep getting better.
That's what I'm talking about, Damani. Ain't no statement. We just gotta approach each and every game the same. And I'm a big fan of that approach, that steady Eddie approach. When I say Eddie, I think of Eddie Pinheiro, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. Eddie Pinheiro, Hey man, that guy has the rise and fall. I know Dan Morgan is up there saying like, yeah, you're gonna get a new contract, but you might not get the blockbuster contract for a kicker that you were hoping to get because he's been on a definite rocky road these past, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks, ever since overtaking Justin Tucker. I think he had 1 week that he kind of remained at the crown at the top of the hill. And then since then, it's just been a little up and down, a little up and down for Eddie. Overall, still a good kicker, but he's certainly going through something right now. So, hey, if you guys are enjoying these interviews, which you can't see anywhere else, give me a little round of applause for these interviews. Let's go ahead and let's go to Adam Thielen in the locker room right now, see what he had to say to the media as well.
Overtime, situational football, that's how these games are coming down, and no matter who's playing in them. So the more we can get action and get actual opportunities to get experience in that, the better for this team, and especially to come out on top.
To send out the home crowd with a win like this in this fashion, how special is that?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's been building up to this. We've been playing good football. Obviously minus last week, but before that, we're doing things to have success, but weren't finishing the deal. So it feels good to finish it because a lot of work put in, a lot of time and effort, and always feels good to kind of come out on the good side.
A few weeks ago, in a very similar situation, we asked you about the finish and Chuba Hubbard and just all that he must have been carrying after that. To see him finish this game this way, what did that mean in this locker room?
Oh, it means everything because he's the guy that you want the ball in their hands. In those situations, you want Chuba to just keep feeding them, keep giving them opportunities.
So hats off to whoever that was that helped my guy in the locker room get that mic closer at the end there. You can hear Adam talking a little bit louder. But Adam Thielen talking about the game today, and it feels good to get over the hump. And he also talked about the game last week in Dallas. So it was, the jury was out. Hey, was last week something that we need to get worried about? Or was last week something that just happened one time? And it clearly just happened one time. I do my best to keep you all up to date about, where your temperament should be with this team and the coaching staff and where things are. I tend to think I'm pretty accurate in kind of trying to guide you along the way and what kind of temperament that you should have. Now, certainly you can say, oh, I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be mad regardless. That's fine. But I felt like that Dallas Cowboys game wasn't like, hey, there's a free pass. Let's go out here and let this happen. But I wasn't panicking about it happening. I felt like every team in the NFL is going to have a letdown, and our team has been playing for the skill level that they have, for a first-year coach, for all the things that are going on with this team. Okay, they're about where they should be. I'm sorry, actually, they're better than where they should be because they were improving now. We're playing competitive games. So a one-game slip-up, I don't like it. I wanted us to win, but it happened, and I had a lot of confidence that Dave will get this team back to where they need to be. And today everybody showed it, except for Eddie Pinheiro, but everybody showed it in terms of the offensive side, defense. Now, we still have problems. Please don't confuse what I'm saying with this team is perfect. We're about to be in the Super Bowl next year. No, we still have problems. That's where I say, like, for what we are, meaning we still have some big holes on defense, right? We have some depth that we need to get in some places on offense, but we had a lot of holes on defense, and we have a kicker that's been not steady. Those things are, when I'm talking about giving the team status, that's where I'm talking about taking those things into consideration. So I said that I fully expect this team to be competitive for the rest of the year. That happened today. They were competitive. They actually won the game today, so hat tip to the Carolina Panthers. And we now play Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week in Florida. I fully expect that to be a competitive game, and then we end the season in Atlanta against the Falcons, and I fully expect that to be a competitive game as well. We got one more locker room interview for you. We're going to go to Robert Hunt in the locker room, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk through these stats from today's game.
God. Now, when I wait a minute, this will be nice. This will be a good one. So, thank you, Father, for giving this one right there. That was great. So it went our way today.
And it's your last home game. I mean, what does it feel like to leave these fans with a win? It's been rough around here the last couple of years.
It feels good, man, to go out with a win. Obviously, we haven't had the year we wanted to have. We all know that we're building and we're trying to get somewhere. And to lead the bank with a taste like this, even though we were 3-11, there was still some people out there still, wearing their shirts and then wearing their jerseys. So we really thank you guys for coming out and supporting us. Want to make sure to look at all the cameras because we really do appreciate you guys. And, hopefully we can finish this thing out right, and then next year it'll be something fun.
You had a tough week for the O-line physically with the health, and then what was it like to learn this morning that Cade was down?
I was kind of crazy. I mean, at the point, I wasn't really too shocked by it. I mean, I was, but how this shit go. Somebody get it, they kind of go around. We with each other 24/7. We with each other more than our family sometimes. So, hopefully Cade feel better. That shit was no joke. But I'm happy for my health right now. I feel a lot better. So.
It sounds like you still kind of are getting
So there is Robert Hunt, a big personality guy that I was supposed to sit down with earlier this week, one-on-one, not this week, I'm sorry, this season, and he actually got hurt in practice that day and wasn't able to do it. So I might reach back out to him. So let me know, interactive show here, do you want Robert Hunt or would you like to have J.J. Jansen? J.J. Jansen is the guy that I have been pinning as the last interview for the season. He's a fun guy. He does Cart Talk. If you have or have not checked it out, it's pretty cool where he just drives players around and they just talk about just miscellaneous things, but it gives you a chance to get to know the players a little bit more than just as a number guy on the field. So let me know. And by the way, I did do my Josie Jewell interview. So if you have not checked that out, let me see if I have a clip from that Josie Jewell interview to share with you guys to give you a little teaser. I think I do. Last 5 games, you've been playing outstanding. What do you attribute this dominance of this recent play to for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's Coach E and, them giving us a good game plan. But still we got a lot of things to work on. Run defense has got to get a lot better still. So that comes back to, a lot of the linebacker stuff. So we've got to be able to fix some of that stuff. And, hopefully as finishing the year here, we can definitely knock the run game out. And then after that, build something into next year.
So that was my one-on-one interview with Josie Jewell, a.k.a. the Sheriff. So if you have not checked it out, please do me a favor and check it out. I think that you will enjoy it. You guys asked me to get back to those one-on-one interviews, so I have. I think so far this season, since you guys asked me to do it, I had Damian Lewis. I'm not going to remember everybody. Josie Jewell. Do you remember who all we interviewed? Yeah, we don't remember, but Damian Lewis? Okay. Maybe that's accurate, maybe that's not, but hey, check out the channel. We have a playlist called One-on-One Interviews. I can proudly say and brag that I have the most one-on-one interviews of any independent media that covers the Carolina Panthers by far. So check out that playlist. Look, there's a lot of good interviews in there that you'll get a chance to check out. So some of you guys say interview both. Well, here's a challenge. We're not that big, but we have the resources to be here setting up productions every day to do interviews and then get those out to you guys. But we just have one interview left to do for the remainder of the season. We're not going to do any interviews next week because it's Christmas. We'll cover the team, but usually can't pull guys away because they want to get out and go spend time with their families. But the following week is when we'll be able to do our final sit-down one-on-one interview. And I'll tell you what, I said J.J. Jansen or Robert Hunt, but we'll create another option called Other, where you guys can tell me whoever you want that to be, and I will tabulate it all, and I will seek to get that interview for you guys. So thank you all very much for watching. We're not done yet. We got some stats to go through and talk a little bit more about this game. And don't forget, tomorrow night is when we have our complete hour-long Let's Talk About It show, 100% guided by you all and your questions. So that's always a fun show where you can call in, state your question, ask a question, vent, make a statement, whatever it may be. Love doing that show quite a bit. All right, let's go ahead and get into some stats. I was stalling for a second to hold my hands in my little pouch because the wind's blowing. And I know my hands are going to freeze when I take them out. But nevertheless, let me get ready to get these stats on the board for you guys. Just a second here. Let's see. All right, I think I got it ready. I have officially lost feeling in my index finger. So we'll see if I can still get this over here. I'm good. All right. We got some things going here. So let's go ahead and go through some of these stats. Again, continue to hit that like button. Please, it helps other Panther fans find out about the channel. Subscribe if you have not done. We need to get to 15,000. Please, please, and thank you. 15,000 subscribers will be nice and appreciated. All right, let's go ahead. And somebody said Coach Canales. I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot get Coach Canales. I may be able to get him again this year in Indianapolis. That's when I got him last year. I got Coach Canales and Dan Morgan at the Combine in Indianapolis. So maybe come that time I can grab those guys. But until then, I'm not high enough on the pecking order to get Canales one-on-one or Bryce Young. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and go over these stats from today's victory as the Carolina Panthers have now doubled their win total from last year, 4-11. Good stuff today. We played spoiler. We were talking about that in the pregame. But, all right, here we go. Chuba Hubbard. Look at this total, guys. I was about to say one. We have 243 yards rushing. I haven't had a chance to do all the research to know where that stands on the season, but I really feel like that's a season high total for us, getting that 243 yards. I do know this, that 5 carries, 68 yards total, is a career record for Bryce Young. And Bryce also had a drive, and I'm going to come back to this here in just a second, but Bryce had a drive in a game overall, which I said he's a franchise quarterback, and I'm going to get into that. But Chuba Hubbard, look at this, 25 carries, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 6.1 yard average. So pregame, I talked about, hey, Chuba, I think it was the past 4, definitely the past 3 games. Chuba had been held to, much lower yards per carry than he had been having all season. I think it was like 3.7 yards per carry, which is not Chuba-like at all. Chuba's much more over a 5-yard carry kind of guy. And some of that was the pregame show talked about, well, they're putting a lot of guys in the box and not giving him a chance to run. They're making Bryce win the game. And the other part of it being, well, we also we haven't been playing from significantly behind, but we hadn't played with a lead. And today coming out, and I really think that Dave Canales, he's a first-year coach, right? So he's going to grow in some things. And though he says he's going to do the run, he's going to be stubborn with the run. At times this season you can say, well, man, where's that attitude of run, because we're passing. But I think certainly you can see Dave Canales, when he's able to start a game and get a lead, that he plays a totally different ball game with that run. And Chuba, like most running backs, once they start to get up into the teens, 14, 15, 16 carries, they start to have this – it just compounds, right? The defense maybe is getting worn down from this guy hitting them. Certainly some of those pictures that you saw earlier, you can see Chuba's making contact, and he's still going. He's not stopping. So that run game was able to get going today. And, again, 243, that is awesome. I don't know where that stands on the season, but I feel like that is certainly a season high, or got to be number 2 if it's not number 1 for the season. And there you go again. Quick look back at the yards rushing today. Mike Boone got in for 1 carry, and then you see we spread around with David Moore and Devin Tompkins trying to get those wide receivers in there on that as well. Let's look at the throwing for today. We didn't throw the ball too much, right? 17 times. And let's see, how many times did we run the ball? It might have been twice as much. Man, so more than twice as much we ran the ball today than we threw the ball. 36 rushes, 17 passes. So different ball game today, and how it's called for Dave Canales when he gets that lead. Maybe still needs to learn, because we were up at one point 20-0. I'm sorry, we were up at one point 20-3. 20-3. We were up 20-3. I wasn't like, yeah, we got this, but I felt pretty good about it. And then just to see it dwindle and ultimately end up in a game that goes in overtime, I really think that's more so of a Dave Canales continuing to learn as a head coach how to call a game in different situations. He's still learning, right? But 23 comeback is significant. We were able to overcome it, though. 17 receptions, 158 yards, but most importantly, no turnovers. 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. And that's a great thing. Adam Thielen was our leading receiver with 43 yards. Tommy Tremble and David Moore with 39. And Dan Chisnia, I hope I said his name right, Dan Chisnia with a heck of a play. I'm going to say that was that overtime or near the end of regulation that he made that catch? It was near the end of regulation that he was able to keep the drive alive. And, yeah, good stuff by Dan. His one catch was a needed catch and worked out well for us. All right, so here's where I'm going to go ahead. Hold on. All right. Am I missing something here? You guys are talking about who's that bear. Something I don't see anybody behind me. So why are you guys talking about who's that bear? Sir Purr, maybe it's just some side comments in here. And we know the internet was mad for cats. Rumor has it Sir Purr is a cat of few words. All right, so I'm totally missing some kind of conversation you guys were having in the comments. I'm glad that you guys are having conversations, but I just wanted to make sure that Sir Purr was not running behind me because I got all these who's that bear kind of thing. Or are you guys calling me a bear because I got on a black hat? I don't know. Whatever. Let's get back to these stats. Bryce Young, 17 of 26, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 107.5 passer rating. That's pretty good. So let me go ahead and talk about Bryce Young here for a second in this game today and why I say that he played like a franchise quarterback today. A franchise quarterback isn't necessarily a guy that is the superstar in the NFL, right? Your franchise quarterback is really a guy that's going to he's going to put you in a position to win, right? That could mean one week he's throwing for 300-400 yards. That could mean the next week he's willing his team to a victory by, not giving up, by pushing, by keeping guys up and putting the ball in a tight window at the point of the game where he needs to take a risk, and that risk pays off and puts his team in a position to win. Or in a game like today, a franchise quarterback who, isn't known for his running ability, runs the ball not one time, not 2 times, but several times, and even runs the ball in a way that you haven't seen him being aggressive. Bryce Young, I forget what play it was, and this was something that I heard Coach Ron Rivera talking to Bryce about in the tunnel here, was the fact that he had that contact and didn't shy away from that contact as he was just trying to get yardage that he knew his team needed. Those are some of the traits that you need your quarterback to have to say, yes, you are a franchise quarterback. And I think Bryce Young has been showing us ways to get it done in various ways all season. Since his comeback, I should say. I shouldn't say all season, but after the benching, he has come back, and he has looked like a franchise quarterback. I don't have the clip for you guys, but even in his post-game interview, when he came to the locker room, he had a different tone to him. He had this, like, we needed this. I mean, you can just hear it in his voice. I don't have the chance to play it today. You guys can tune in tomorrow for the post-game. For the Let's Talk About It show. I'll get into it then. But Bryce Young just carried himself, came to the podium after being in the locker room, said, hey, the energy is great. We won the game. We got over the hump. This is something that we need to build on. There's a lot of we talk and a lot of just a different tone that Bryce took today, and I really think that's a reflection of him now starting to get some more victories under his belt. And he stayed poised the whole game. The entire game, Bryce was able to stay poised and played a good game. So let's go ahead and go over one more stat. Let's go to the defensive side. I like this. Pre-game, talked about, man, we got a lot of guys that are going to be new. And our linebackers. We got only Josie Jewell out there. And then we got Windman and Radigan that are 2 guys that have not had a lot of playing time that we're going to be dependent on. And what could that mean for this team? Well, the Cardinals did run over us. Let me put that out there. Again, I'm not going to say this team is playing perfect, but when you still find a way to win, that's really what you remember the most, right, is that we found a way to win. The Cardinals did have over 200 yards rushing, but so did the Panthers, right? They didn't have the yards rushing where they were able to win the game. And Windham, as you're going to see here on the screen here, he did a pretty good job. This guy was a guy who had like 400 snaps in the NFL, but only maybe 30 of them had been on defense. He's a special teams player, but he led us in tackles today with 8 and even had a sack. Ashawn Robinson getting in for a sack. My man DJ Wonnum, and this team, ever since DJ Wonnum has come back, has been a different team on the defensive side. We didn't see any cornerback blitzes that got to the quarterback today, but that has been something that you've been seeing as part of the repertoire for Evero since getting Wonnum. But I don't know the numbers, guys. I would say Wonnum came back, I know in New York, against New York in Germany. But if he's been back 5 games, he's probably had a sack in 3 of them. Certainly has been our sack leader by far the force since we got him back out there on the field. Very important pickup, but Wonnum getting a sack. And, you guys can take a look there. Damani Richardson getting the start over Jordan Fuller. Jordan Fuller could have played today, but Evero said, I want to go with the rookie, and it paid off. Damani had an interception, but he also, as you see here in the stats, played a pretty solid game, had 6 tackles, and then you see there he had his interception. But I'm not going to say, man, this defense is great, but they played enough. It was complimentary football where the offense was able to do some things, defense was able to do some things at some times to give them a chance to win, and the Carolina Panthers were able to be victorious today against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I will have to say this before I get out of here. Eddie Pinheiro, he's not steady Eddie. I don't know what's gotten into him. He missed an extra point, and I feel like he's missed several extra points in the past month. I might even want to say 3 extra points in the past month. So that's something that we gotta work on. We're able to overcome it today. I'm happy for it. Carolina Panthers are now 4-11. Again, have doubled their win total from last week. Next week we head to Tampa Bay to take on Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions before I head out of here. Again, thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the likes. DCAS says Damani should have been starting. Damani is a good player. Yeah, he's definitely a good player. And when I'm doing good. All right. Let me see if I can find out what you guys were talking about with Superb. How did this get started? Chris get Xavier Leggett, and he would be fun. Tommy Trumbull. I will say this. Was it Felipe Franks who thought that they, recovered the ball when they thought that the punt was muffed and that Carolina Panthers recovered it? This guy, I hope some veteran pulled him to the side and said, hey, young fella, come here, let me talk to you, right? It's one thing to think that you did something, but at some point, did you not see that there was the referees were huddling? Did you not look up at the jumbo trying to check the action to make sure that you were good? I mean, he took the ball, ran all the way down, was waving his friends down, did something on the little goalpost, and at this point you could see clearly, okay, well, there may be something going on here with this play because these referees are not just letting things carry on. And then he spins the ball after this and does some dance, and it's like, hello, earth to Felipe. Like, Felipe, we love you, man. Well, I can't say that we love you. We appreciate you. But I just want you to, read the room, as they say, because you did a lot there that was not needed because the Carolina Panthers did not recover the fumble. That ball had hit special teams ace Sam Franklin, and whenever it hits whenever the defensive team touches the ball first, then you can't fumble it on the offensive side. Therefore, the ball stayed with the Arizona Cardinals. Again, one of the moments where the team could have lost some energy, could have let the win out the sail, but they didn't. They stayed up. They recovered enough to win this game in overtime. All right, so, hey, thank you all very, very much for watching. If you have not hit the like button and you're still watching, why not? You've watched all this time. Go ahead and show me some love. Hit that like button. It's free. Helps me out quite a bit. Subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 15,000 subscribers. And consider becoming a member. Independent media, 100% supported by you guys. Contributions, super chats, etc. So that's all the little things that you've been seeing us do with the lights, the audio, the interviews with extra people, the photos on the home games and away games, traveling to Germany, all that stuff was because of you. And I mean, 100% because of you guys. So anytime that you're able to do that, I appreciate it. I hope these guys continue to do that. Check out the Josie Jewell interview. That'll be all from Bank of America Stadium. I'm Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe.